computer. I don't think I trust the cloud. Yay. Okay, so team call for April 4th. I cannot believe it's the first week of April. Give me a second. I'm going to share my screen here. All right. Does everybody see my fancy presentation? All right. Okay, so our team call for tonight. Let's see if I can go. All right, quick agenda for tonight. We're going to do a little welcome for the new coaches, our March recognition, talk quickly about what our April promo is, if you're not familiar with it is. And then tonight's core topic is really about sharing our stories. And then we're going to talk just a couple housekeeping things, reminders about the vital behaviors, our power hour, and then I thought it might be helpful to just make sure that everybody knows that there are a few mobile apps available for running our businesses that makes it really easy when you can't get to your computer. So first of all, welcome to all of our new coaches in the last few months, Jenna and Jen and Melanie and Kara and Molly. So it's been awesome. We're so thrilled to have all of you on board, and no matter what you're doing with your business or where you're at, it makes no difference to Noelle and I. I mean, you are 100% a part of our team and everything that we want to do and build as a culture within our teams. So know that, these are your teammates, and, we're here for you guys. March recognition, Erin and Noelle and I, we teamed up on a group, and it was awesome and had some great things come out of it. Had the ability to help some ladies get going with their health and fitness journeys. And, Success Club points are really important in our business, and they're just, they're points. But the real aspect and the power behind earning Success Club is so that you're not only moving your business forward, but it's really about the impact of what you're doing in the lives that you're changing by getting people set up with a challenge pack or Shakeology on Home Direct so that you can get them going on their health and fitness journey in the best possible way. Our April promo. This really blew my mind when I saw this come across last week. I was just floored that they decided to go ahead and already discount the on-demand all-access challenge pack. It's huge. I mean, to be discounted to $160 this month, you guys, is a massive discount, an enormous savings for our clients. And you can see I made a quick note over there that the Kickstart that comes with the 3-day refresh, $205. So for $5, $6 more than what it was originally priced, you can get the whole 3-day refresh to go with it, which is awesome. And if you have any Canadian customers, just remember that they do have a different price than we do for all products, but it's not by much. Obviously, it's just $26, but it's enough that obviously it's a big cost of doing business internationally. So, all right. Okay, so the core of tonight's call is about your story and overcoming the fear of sharing your story, especially on social media. Really think that this is such a core element to what we do as coaches. And Noelle and I have this talk almost on a weekly basis about sharing something really personal and how it's a little bit easier, obviously, to do it within your team page, or if you're running a group for ladies that you've had in multiple groups and you feel really comfortable with them, it's easier to be more vulnerable with them. But stepping back and thinking about your story, your journey, and what, who you are and who you're trying to reach with your business and who you're trying to help is a big deal. So tonight, I really just want you guys to think about, what is your story? When you first started working with a coach, where were you at in your life? What's happened since then? How have these products enhanced your life, changed your life, helped your health, helped your fitness. I mean, all of those things are your journey. They are your story. And don't, discount any element of your story, and know that you have something really unique that you can share. We all do. We all might have things in common, and we're moms, right? And we all have that in common. But what's next? Are you a single mom? Are you a stay-at-home mom? Are you a working mom? I mean, every single layer to your story is going to continue to connect with somebody else. I am a cleft mom. I have a child who was born with a birth defect. That has become a huge part of my story in the last year. If you have a child with, another name, autism, it's a huge connector with so many people, how it impacts your life and the things that you get to do and the different ways that you get to experience life and what that means. That is a huge connector with people. And I don't want anybody to feel like it's a downside. Okay, I could have really taken my son's situation, and I did take my son's situation, and it was really hard on me, and I suppressed it because I was embarrassed. I didn't know what to think about him having a cleft lip and palate. I was so nervous to share that because I didn't want to be judged. And I let fear take control of me for months before I was ready to share that story. And once I did, guess what? I mean, I received so much feedback about how to deal with it. Support groups, other people who have gone through the same thing. It was a lot of love and a lot of support. I am certain that there were plenty of people who judged me as well. And that's fine, because I now look at that as that's on them as somebody to judge me for it. And it is what it is. It's a part of my life, and he is my son. I'm going to love him no matter what. So he became a part of my story and a part of my journey. And I continue to share about both my kids as much as I possibly can. So I want you to just give some thought to your story. I know a number of us have struggled with postpartum depression. A number of us have gone through the loss of kids, of miscarriages. There are so many different things, and there's different ways that you can help people, because you can talk about the mental toughness element of it. You can talk about the self-care element of what you have gone through. And you can come at your story in so many different ways. And this is the breadcrumbing aspect. You don't have to go out on social media and do a live video and just spill it all the first time out, especially if you're a new coach. But you should go on and share a little bit at a time. Take 1 week and just take a segment of your story and just share it. And think about what maybe the challenge or the problem was at the time, what you did and how it enhanced. It's always nice to show people that there are great solutions from any challenge or problem. And share that 1 week. We need to, people need to see the good and the bad, right? And they want to know that we're real people and it's not all just great workouts and eating salads every day. They want to know that we're real people as coaches. That's what they're going to relate to. And whatever that is for you, it might be the fact that you haven't showered in 3 days. I've had that happen. Life just gets crazy, so share that. And know that every little bit that you share, you're going to connect in some way with somebody else. And then pay attention to who those people are who like a post that you made, who comment, and reach out to them. And just give them, start some dialogue. Thanks for liking my post. Did you suffer with postpartum depression too? How did you deal with it? Are you still dealing with it? Just start a conversation, because that person obviously is relating to you in some way. They're supporting you in some way. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with getting a conversation started, because they may need your help, but they may not know how to ask for your help. And I think that there is so much power in the truth, right? And I struggle with this all the time. I have a story of dealing with suicidal depression and anxiety and just deep, dark demons. And I have shared it in bits and pieces, and I have shared a lot more in some of my private groups. And I'm still a work in progress in how I share the whole story. But I know that every time I share it and every time I'm real, it connects with people in a whole new way than it did a month prior when I shared a little bit of my story. So I know that the fear factor is real. It is so real in all of us. And like I mentioned, Noelle and I have conversations about this on a weekly basis. And what we deal with personally is really hard to share on social media, especially for those of us that are a little bit more introverted. Believe it or not, I'm pretty introverted. Like, I like to keep my personal stuff personal most of the time. But I have learned over the last few years of coaching that I can't positively impact somebody else's life if they don't know what I've been through, if they don't know that there are ways to work through what I dealt with, how I'm still dealing with it. You know, life is never going to be perfect. So I think that making perfect circumstances whenever I can is a plus. And I know it seems really scary to think about what to share. How do I share it? And if you're not sure, just start typing it up in your notes app on your phone. Start a blank document, write it out by hand. It doesn't matter. Just start getting your story out from the heart, and then share it. Share it with your coach. Share it with your sister, somebody that you trust. And just sometimes I just start typing it out and I just start reading it out loud. And I'm like, does this sound like it's too much? Am I forcing it in some way? And chances are, once you share it with somebody, they're going to be super moved. I was so moved a couple weeks ago by Noelle. She and Aaron and I ran a Shakeology information group. Amazing group, awesome content. They did all the heavy lifting. I just kind of got in the group and acted like I was, important because I did a couple videos. They did amazing work in this group. Noelle started sharing her Shakeology journey, and she did it live. And you always run the risk of something crazy happening when you go live. And it was so awesome because she got vulnerable and she shared something very personal, and it was about her family, about her dad. And you would not believe the impact that she had on people. And I know it wasn't easy for her, and it just kind of happened. It was so authentic and from the heart. And it's making me tear up just thinking about it, because I was so moved by her honesty and her being vulnerable about her life, but at the same time, sharing how impactful a tool that we have as coaches has been in her life and in her family's life. So I don't want you guys to let that fear hold you back of sharing that some other way. And maybe you start with your challenge group and you get feedback and you kind of just fill out how it feels. And then you take a little bit of that and then you share it, whether it's typed in post or you decide to do a video, and you share it on your fitness page if you run a fitness page, or maybe you share it a little bit on your personal Facebook page or Instagram. Whatever it is, I would just encourage you to take one small step this week and share something personal about your journey, because I guarantee you that you're going to move and inspire and impact somebody else who needs you as a coach, who is just going through Facebook looking for inspiration, looking for motivation, looking for somebody that they can relate to. There's a lot of crap on social media, and people need real stuff. They need positive, and there's a lot of negativity on social media, and I hate that, but that's just the reality that we live in. So give them something else real. Give them something authentic. Give them something vulnerable that is you and only you, and it's your story and how you can relate. Okay? So I want that to be your little takeaway this week. My mini challenge to you is to think about a part of your story that you have not shared yet. Think about, or if you have shared it, think about a slightly different way that you can share a little bit more about your journey. And if you haven't posted anything about that, and it's been pretty much the straightforward motivation, workout photos, clean eating photos, those kinds of things, join my challenge group types of posts, mix it up a little bit this week and share some real life stuff and see. I think you're going to see a big change in your engagement on social media and what people are looking for and the type of conversations that you're able to start. And I'll be, for my team, I'll be looking for your posts because I'm inspired by you guys all the time. And whether you realize it or not, I love seeing the things that you post, whether it's about your kids or it's just family stuff. It's what has drawn me to you and what's drawn you to me. And same with Noelle's team. So think about that. And if I don't catch it or Noelle doesn't catch it, let us know how it goes. Or if you're not sure how to share it, just run it by us in a quick text or a quick message and get some feedback. You guys can always do that kind of stuff. So that's it. My mini challenge to you. Find a piece of your story, something different, something real and authentic and vulnerable, and share just a little bit of it this week and see what happens. Okay? All right. So now that I'm not so teary thinking of Noelle's story, I wanted to do a quick reminder on our vital behaviors and really drive home the consistency factor here. With our vital behaviors as a business, these are the vital behaviors that every coach in our network follows. When you got your first email from Beachbody, when your coach reached out to you and talked to you, I am certain that at some point you have talked about all of these. We used to just have the first three, the inviting, the being a product, and the personal development. And in the last year or so, they've layered in this recognition piece, which I love because so many of us were doing it anyways. So the inviting aspect, I'm going to go over power hours here in a second, but inviting is super critical. And inviting is really just deciding if you're going to run a challenge group, a free clean eating group, whatever it's going to be, and just invite your friends and family. If you run a fitness page and you've got a cold market, start inviting people. Just reach out, start having a conversation, and get them invited. Do not forget, and I think that this is a critically overlooked piece of inviting, is that it's not just invite and forget. It's invite and follow up. You may not hear from somebody, for a couple of days. You might, this is the beauty of Facebook Messenger. You always know when somebody has read your message, right? So if you see that they read it, follow up in a couple of days. And especially if it's somebody where you've put out a post about the group you're going to run and they've liked your post or commented on it, reach out to those people. I mean, that is your market for working with people and getting your challenge groups filled and impacting people's lives. So don't hesitate in that. Don't wait for them to reach out to you. Inviting is the proactive element of our business. Being a product of the product, this is the easy one, right? We all are in this because we love the workouts. We love drinking Shakeology. It's easy to post a sweaty selfie. It's easy to post a I'm drinking my shake picture, right? But do a video. Try something different. Do a different post. Take pictures with your kids. Whatever that looks like, just continue to share the products that you're using and how they're impacting your life. always think about how you can add value when you're posting on social media. And I always try to, again, think of it in that same way as kind of your story. What was your challenge? What are you working on? And how are you getting to a solution? What are you using to help you get to that solution? Personal development is huge. And I'm sure you guys have all heard from different coaches on the National Wake Up Call, or if you have Google or done YouTube with any coaches and watched a lot of videos, so many of us will say, I didn't believe in doing personal development. I don't believe in doing it. I refuse to read. I'll only listen to podcasts, whatever it is. Personal development, and I think that it does not matter if you're coaching to build a business, if you're coaching for personal accountability, no matter what, I really want to encourage you to do some form of personal development. I go back and forth between books and podcasts. I love doing podcasts because they're easy to do, listen to while I'm driving to and from work or whatever happens to be going on. I will put my earbuds in and do dishes once the kids go to bed, whatever that is. But I also like to read because I just feel like there's something that I can get more out of physically reading a book. So this month, I want everybody to consider just committing to a book. Don't consider it. Just commit to a book or a podcast, an audio book, and read it and share about it. Share about that on your as part of your journey. You have something in it is really impacting your life. Erin has done a great job with this, with a book that she's recently been reading, and I've loved seeing her little experts of it. And sometimes it's a great quote that she loves. Other times it's been just a great takeaway from it. That's really impactful stuff. And a lot of people think that personal development is because you have a problem that you're trying to solve, right? That's what I really thought it was in the beginning. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, how many things am I going to have to work on, And then I realized, okay, it's about growing as a person so I can be a better coach, so I can be a better wife, better mom, like whatever that is. I, am a little bit more focused on a business book right now. I guess it's considered a business book. It's a productivity book that I borrowed from Noelle. So commit to something, find something you love. If you're not sure what to read, ask. There are so many great books and podcasts out there to help you with wherever you're at in your business or something personal that you want to work on. Maybe it's time management or organization. I'm reading one that's about getting over procrastination. It's also something I'm working with my daughter on. So, this is a good two-way project for me. And the National Wake Up Calls. Every Monday, we have a great call with a coach. I really love what they're doing right now with the National Wake Up Calls, where they're kind of switching off between doing a call with a coach who's, way up in the ranks and has a booming business. And they've started doing some calls with newer coaches who are in their first year of the business, their first 9 months of the business. And they just talk about what it's like being a new coach and just getting momentum going. I think that is a really awesome thing. I would have loved 3 years ago to have heard from some other people that were at the same place as me in the business. So I could kind of try to figure out what I could kind of tweak to grow my business or what I could tweak to just do things a little bit better. And so I love that model of the National Wake Up Call has changed a little bit. So don't forget, you can listen to it live. There's a replay number, and there is a podcast that you can do. And I know for sure you can get it on iPhone through iTunes. I'm not exactly sure about Android phones. I meant to look into that and I forgot. So anyways, that's personal development. And then recognition. We all know what recognition is. As a coach, I really encourage you guys to do this within your team as much as possible, recognizing Success Club or somebody's personal accomplishment. Obviously, always recognize new coaches when they join your team. And then something I recently started doing, and I wished I would have been doing for the last 3 years because it's such an awesome thing, is recognizing the challengers in my group, because there's so much amazing progress that is being made. And it could be something as small as one of the gals posted in my group today a picture of her 21-day fix container tracker and how she had checked off everything yesterday and was totally on point. That's a big deal. That's something that I want to recognize her for this week. So I am working now on recognizing a challenger from one of my groups. Every week, I put it out on all of my social media platforms. I tag them. I want their friends to know that they are doing awesome things with their health and with their fitness to take care of themselves. So recognition, an awesome vital behavior that we've added. All right, so real quickly, I just want to talk about power hours, because a few people have asked, especially new coaches, about how much time do you really spend on your business? How do I manage my time better? So I've got 2 samples here for power hours, and I have these as individual graphics, so you guys will have access to this PowerPoint if you want it, so you have all my little notes here, but also these next 2 images I have as individual graphics, so you can have them and save them to your phone, because it's nice to just have a quick refresher. Power hour is really like a great way to start your business. And for those of us, like if you work full-time, you're a full-time stay-at-home mom, no matter what, it really doesn't matter what your situation is. We all are super crazy, right? Some days I get an hour, if I'm lucky, to work my business. So I have to be on top of it, and I really want to be dialed in. So I try to make sure that I am super focused on 3 or 4 different things, and I hammer through them for that hour that I might have. Sometimes it's only 30 minutes. And so I have to really prioritize what I want to get done. I really love this one because it looks like a lot of stuff, but a lot of these things you can just get them off your plate really quick, okay? Checking your back office takes a couple minutes. Sending 2 invites, that takes more time, okay? Because we're not cookie cutter coaches, right? We don't just copy and paste the same message to every single person and invite them to our group. You make it personal, you connect with them, you know them either because they're friends or family, or if they're cold market, you really need to get to know them because you've got to understand what they need from you as a coach. So sometimes inviting can take me like half my time, depending on how many people I'm inviting, because I want it to be personal. I want to connect with them. And sometimes that invite aspect might just be, part of number 2, connecting with people as well. So between number 2, number 3, reconnecting, connecting, building relationships, and inviting, for me, sometimes that takes up at least half my power hour. Then, checking in with challenge groups, to me, and for most coaches, because social media is so easy, right? It's easy to just check in from your phone and see how your challenge groups are going throughout the course of the day. But if you have the type of job where you cannot be on Facebook, my old job was like this, Facebook was blocked. So, and I had terrible cell reception. So it was hard for me to check in with my challenge groups during the day. So sometimes that just had to happen at night. But make sure your challengers know that, so that if they're trying to get a hold of you, they know maybe they should email you or try to communicate in some other way outside of the group. And then, but make sure that you're doing more than just checking into your group and liking different posts. Engage with your challengers. Make sure that they're really in it. If they're really struggling one day, comment in the group, but reach out to them with a personal message and see how you can help them wherever they might be stuck. That's part of coaching, that personal aspect of coaching. And then when it comes to like content, that's another huge time suck. So really think about, maybe start kind of keeping a running list of like different things you want to try to tackle during the week from a content standpoint. Maybe you want to do a recipe every week. Okay, on Sundays, try to track down all the content for 3 or 4 of those recipes. Or if it's going to be about self-care, or it's going to be about a craft with your kid, or whatever it's going to be, think about your content, because it is so easy to get sucked into designing graphics and trying to make the perfect post and trying to make sure that you get it onto Instagram and your personal page and your fitness page. And thankfully, almost every page is like tied to another one now, so you don't have to post multiple times, or at least more than twice, I guess. But that is one area, especially when I first started coaching, my first year or 2, man, I spent so much time writing and rewriting posts and making sure I didn't have any typos. And that still kind of bothers me. So I do always typically reread a post, but I don't worry so much about it being perfect. I worry about it being good content, or a good graphic. It doesn't, people want to see real life stuff. The motivational pieces are really good too, but try to have a really good balance. Okay. So Power Hour is meant for you to have dedicated focus time for your business. This graphic kind of helps you break it out from a timing standpoint. So I really like this structure. I really love the first reminder about don't start your Power Hour by scrolling Facebook. Okay. Turn off your notifications if you have to, whatever that looks like, so that you can really hone in on what it is that you need to get done. And truly, this is a great guide for breaking it down into 15-minute increments and knowing that, again, like I mentioned, my first 30 minutes kind of become combined because a lot of those, these aspects of relationship building and invitations, they kind of intermingle for me sometimes. And follow-ups can sometimes come into that. But where it says follow-ups there, if I haven't already done that in my first 30 minutes, I then use that next 15 minutes to get in my planner and jot down what I want to work on. Maybe I'm working on blog content, maybe it's Facebook content, whatever that looks like. And maybe it's trying to prep for a new challenge group of some sort. You just need to decide what it is that you want to get done in that 15 minutes and go from there. So hopefully, if you haven't been doing a Power Hour, or you're a newer coach and you're trying to kind of figure out where to spend your time, I would start here 100% and break it down. Use your voice. Okay, you can always reach out to your coach or within our larger upline teams if you're stuck somewhere or you need some help kind of like crafting or scripting. But I really encourage you not to just take what somebody else has done and just use it verbatim. Always, always, always try to give it your voice. Okay, how am I doing on time? All right. So that's Power Hour in a nutshell. A couple of things that have been really beneficial to me as a coach, especially working full time, running my kids all over the place. I'm on my computer all day at work, but I'm not able to just be on Facebook all day, right? Or on my personal emails. So I love these two apps. And the first one is, if you aren't using it, definitely use it and I apologize, this one is not an actual application that you're going to download. This is our actual mobile online office. So save it, go to coachteambeachbody.com, just like it says there. You sign in just like as if you were signing in to the website, and then it's going to be your back office automatically. So you can monitor your business. If you need to reach out to somebody and you don't have their email address, you can go in here, you can do a customer search, you can see how your coaches are doing, track volume. Every business aspect that is in our online office is in this mobile office as well. It's an amazing tool to have. So save it to your favorites on your phone and know that it's a great way to always have access to your clients, always to have access to training and different things like that. The other little image over there is where I house all my business stuff. As you can see, I keep my podcast app there. But most particularly, I want to call out the one that says BB Links. This changed my business because, how many times do you want to direct somebody to your website and you have to say, okay, go to Beachbody.coach / okay, it's kind of a pain, right? And especially if you don't have your own business domain that you can direct them to automatically, that's a little bit quicker. It is kind of cumbersome to get them to your office or to your page to check out a challenge pack or buy a product or join your team. So this is awesome because once you open it up, you sign into it so that it identifies you, and then it has links to everything. All of the challenge packs, all of the programs individually, all of the supplements individually, and it gives you the US and Canadian prices, and it actually lists on there what a coach price is. So great case in point, I had a gal that I've been working with for a bit, today she reached out. She's just interested in Shakeology, asked me how much it was. I know she's in Canada. So I went to that. I went to Shakeology, opened it up. It has all the prices for Canada. So retail price, coach price, the whole nine. And I sent her a screenshot of it. Plus I sent her the link, but I wanted her to see for herself that she could get a great discount if she decided that she wanted the coach discount. And so it's a great way to also kind of start that conversation with somebody if they're interested, if they give you a price objection about Shakeology. Just think about a different way to help them understand that there are great ways to save on all the products. But you can copy the links and message them, email them directly to a client, and it has your coach ID attached to it. So it just makes it that much easier for them to get connected to you as the coach and ensure that you are earning from whatever they decide to order. So those are two of my favorites for sure. The rest are just kind of webinar type of things. I am certain that there are probably some other ones that I'm not really thinking of when you're working with your challengers. The 21 Day Fix app is great for tracking workouts and containers. And there's certainly some other ones. The My Challenge Tracker, I would be remiss if I didn't say it. I don't use it as much as I probably should outside of the health bets, but it is a great place to host a challenge group that makes it really easy for people to check in and stay accountable with their workouts and their Shakeology. So that's definitely another one that you guys could consider as well. So anyways, two really easy things to have on your phone so that you always have access to your back office and to product links with your coach ID. Okay, so I think we're kind of wrapping up. Oh, see, I jumped the gun there all the way to the end. That's it. Oh, see, let's take you guys through it. I think the only thing I had was just to remind you guys that we'll have our next coach call in a couple of weeks, and Noelle is going to host that one. And I know that she will have some great stuff going on. I will probably not be on that call because I'm going to be out of the country that week, but I know she will record it, and I cannot wait to see what she has to present. So with that, I am going to stop sharing my screen and go back. So if you're muted and you want to unmute, I'll record for a couple more minutes. So if anybody had questions about anything, we can get them answered here so we can share it with our teams for those who weren't able to join. What did you think? Too much for one night, or good, bad, otherwise? Questions?
That was very good. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks.
Yes,
Coach.
absolutely. And not too much, I don't think. I mean, you gave us a couple of things that you kind of want us to work on, and so at least for me, having a little short to-do list is a good thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Have any of you, Tiffany, I know we talked about this, but have any of you done The Power of Vulnerability? No, what's the name of it? The Power of Vulnerability?
Power of Vulnerability by Brene Brown.
Is it only an audio series?
I think so. That's the only way I've been able to find it so far is Amazon audiobooks.
Okay. I'm thinking I have it in my cart, but my credit card got stolen, so I can't order anything right now. But I'm thinking of that because that's something like what Tiffany was saying about me sharing about the Shakeology thing. I'm an introvert and I don't share my story very well on social media, and I need to because I have a ton of issues I could talk about on social media. I think something like that would help. But and I know Tiffany Danzy has highly recommended that series. I thought it was a book. But it's so true because I find when it comes to social media, we always want to seem like we have it all together and we have something great to share. But I always find the posts that are so inspiring are the ones where people are just like sharing their mess, and it's something simple. And you're like, I find that those are much more inspiring than the perfectly crafted, graphic and all of the words. It's always when people are just sharing something they're struggling with that I find so inspiring, and I keep thinking, like, why don't I do that more? Like, I sit and I spend all this time trying to make this great graphic and look like I have it all together because I think that's what's gonna inspire people. But if I just shared, there's so many times where my husband is like, you need to share this stuff. Like, you're really struggling. Like, people think that you're perfect all the time. You need to share the messy stuff too. And I don't. So that's something that I think I could do better with. And I know just for me personally, like the whole struggle, everything with my dad is so much of my story, and I don't talk about it, and I should, because I think it would help a lot of other people. I don't know how many of you follow Stephanie Richardson or know her at all. That's at the top of the Beachbody Rockstars, but everything she's posting right now with her dad is so my life. And so there's so much of that stuff. We all have different things, but there's so much of my story that I think, like, gosh, there's got to be a ton of other women out there that are dealing with parents with health issues. And that's a big part of your life and a big part of the struggle. And just to see somebody else that you're like, gosh, I can relate to that. And you know what? I'm going to go and get my workout done instead of sitting here and feeling sorry for myself. There's so much of that stuff that you're dealing with, like whether it's something with your kids or something with your spouse or whatever, where you're like, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and feel sorry for myself. I'm going to go eat healthier. I'm going to go work out, or I'm going to go read a book, or even just like this, connecting with other women. It's like, there's so much of me that I just want to take a screenshot of this and say, like, this is why I'm a coach, because you connect with people that are all over the country that you never would have met. And it's like, let's be better. Like, let's make tomorrow better. Let's finish off today, even if it was a crappy day. Like, let's connect with some really cool people and make tomorrow better. And it's like, that's why I love being a coach. And that's why we need to share it with more people, because even if you're not out there making six figures tomorrow, you're connecting with real, genuine, awesome people. And that's why I love being a coach. Sorry. I get off on tangents.
I love it. But it's exactly right. I have not done that audiobook yet either, and I need to do it too. I'm scared to death to share my full depression story. I did it in my self-care group a couple weeks ago, and it felt really good. But again, that fear factor and the thought of sharing all of that or more of it on social media kind of freaks me out. But again, it's just like your story. It's just like anybody else's story. We all have struggles. I mean, I think about some of the gals that I know that get on and they share about like going to marriage counseling. Who hasn't, and if you haven't gone to marriage counseling, you probably should have at some point. I mean, I resisted it for a long time, and then it turned out to be a pretty good thing. I'm like, okay. My husband wasn't right, damn it. But I want to do that audiobook. So when you decide to do it, and anybody else who wants to do it with us, I would love to do it. And I'd just love to have some personal accountability for doing a better job of being vulnerable, either with you guys as accountability partners or, whatever we decide to share with our networks. I think that we all have great stuff to share.
If I can just say something about being vulnerable and like sharing your mess, I think, especially for the newer people, sometimes it's easy to just do it in like little ways first to kind of build yourself up and see how you like the good response that you got. Like the funny thing is, one of my best personal posts that I did recently was, I think, Tiffany, you probably saw it, the picture of my son's shoes and how he had mismatched socks. And I was just like, can anybody relate to this? Because, this is my struggle. I just can't even find socks for my kid. And so many people were like, oh my gosh, me too. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, where do those little socks go? And it's just, and when my daughter's old preschool teacher was like, mismatched or colored socks are the devil. Like, I feel like, it doesn't have to be like an earth-shattering like revelation of, oh my gosh, this is my deep dark secret that people on social media don't know about. Sometimes it can just be something little that really bugs you, or that you wouldn't be like purposely sharing otherwise. It can just be something to be like, this is my struggle, like just little things. I saw my friend who's a coach, like showed a picture of her living room with the explosion of the laundry and was like, this is my life right now. And, then she did put a picture in the comments of, look, now it's all cleaned up. But I mean, you can just be real and just be like, hey, I put my health first and this is second. Like, I'm not going to be defined by having every piece of the laundry clean in my house or something like that. So just wanted to share that.
Yeah, that's great advice. And I think that was my point around breadcrumbing too. Like, to your point, like it needs to be little. You don't have to go out and just vomit the whole thing or disclose every dark secret that your husband or your family's going to be like, what the hell are you doing? But yeah, beyond your like personal stuff, I think Erin, great point. I mean, it's just that everyday real life stuff that people need to know. I mean, it's like bad dance videos. They love seeing that shit. I don't know why they love seeing my bad dance videos, but they do, because it's hilarious how bad I am. But you know what? I'm willing to put it out there just to entertain people. So, whatever. My daughter told me it was only medium bad the last time I did it. So I'm improving. Jen, how are you doing?
Oh, good. I wanted to share. So because of Noelle, I've been reading that Emily Lay, The Grace Through Perfection, and she talks about that. Life happens in the messes. It's not always in the being organized and perfect all the time. So it's been speaking to me because I'm very type A and I like having it together. So
what's the name of the book?
It's okay to have dishes in the sink the next morning, it's okay. So you don't always have to have it all perfect. So yeah, so it's good. You guys, Sharon, it's really good. So
what's the name of the book?
It's by Emily Ley, the one that has the Simplified Planner. It's called Grace Through Perfection. Grace Not Perfection. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, it's got a pink cover.
What did you say?
I need to add that to my reading list.
It's really good. She talks about like community, and then she gives you like tips and things like that about, how to clean up and stuff. But all her stuff that came through is like through vulnerability and through, like messy things and stuff like that, or when a dog died and stuff like that, So, and she's very like me, like type A, wants to have it together and stuff like that. But yeah, it's about grace, not perfection. Basically, it's really what the book's about. So just learning to, cut yourself some slack and things like that. So,
cool.
It's been good. So
awesome. Very good. Cool. All right, ladies. Well, thanks for joining. It's 8:00, so I don't want anybody to like be up past their bedtime. Noelle.
Yeah, I'm getting sleepy. I'm getting sleepy. It's my bedtime.